Just play the damn thing.
So I saw a video recently where they were talking about essential guitar tones that every guitar player should have in their arsenal. It got me to thinking that that's not a bad idea. I mean, certainly a good thought to share, and kind of inspired me to want to do kind of my own version on it, but a little bit more generality rather than focusing on specific amps and guitars and stuff like that. So. And also, it gives me another excuse to do, another video with this here NUX MG30 versatile modeler that I just finished completing another demo on. I don't know that you guys will have seen that yet by now. Regardless, this is what I'm using to produce all of the tones I'm going to share with you today, because this is a fun little unit to get to use, and I'm really beginning to like it, which is surprising because I don't generally like effects processors. But for more on that, make sure and check out the video on the MG30. Now moving on, what are my 5 favorite tones that are essential for all guitar players to have in their arsenal, and more importantly, why you need to have them? Let's get into it. Number 1 is a good clean tone. Yeah, and the reason why this is important is because a clean tone, believe it or not, is not genre specific. Yeah, you can use it for the surf stuff, and jazz and classical. There's a lot of different stuff that the clean stuff is used for, but it's also very, very heavily used in rock, and even the hardcorest of hardcore metal bands still record lots and lots of things through a clean amp. Now, me personally, I'm not a real big fan of just dry, boring, clean, flat, clean tones. I like a little bit of a pizzazz to them myself, and particularly being a real big Metallica fan, I like to add some effects to it. So I generally, my favorite clean tones generally include chorus and reverb and maybe some delay or something like that. But usually chorus and reverb on top of a really, really good clean tone. My favorite happens to be the JC120, which is the amp model that I'm using out of this to demonstrate. And as I mentioned, you will see stuff like this across all genres of music. Very versatile. Everybody needs to have access to it in their rig. Check this out. Number 2, a good blues tone. This one, admittedly, is probably not going to be, in my opinion, is probably the least versatile on this list. But the truth is, blues is the basis for so many genres of music out there, and it's blues in its own is still among one of the most popular genres, subgenres of rock music out there anywhere. Stevie Ray Vaughan, who was one of the most popular guitar players to ever walk this planet to this very day, got some excellent guitar tones with very, very, very little gain, just right there on the edge of breakup. A very easy way to achieve this is set your favorite low gain amp combo, like a Fender Blues Deluxe or something like that, Blues Deluxe, Twin Reverb, some Mesa Boogie combos. There's any number of things out there that you can use. Set your amp just on the edge of breakup, Put your favorite overdrive pedal, such as a Tube Screamer. Put your favorite overdrive pedal on it. Turn the gain almost all the way down and the level all the way up, and that is how you're going to achieve this tone right here. Grab your favorite single coil guitar, set the pickup in the middle position, and a la Stevie Ray Vaughan. This is a good one to have. This is a good one to have in your arsenal because guitar players who are looking for any kind of gig out there, that's they're looking for any kind of paying gig because that's how they earn their living. Blues should probably be in your repertoire to some degree. If you're picking up a fill-in gig with a blues cover band or something like that, you want to make sure that you have access to something that's going to get you in this ballpark. Number 3, a good rock tone. Now for this one, I'm using the Marshall Plexi 100 model that is in this that is in the NUX MG30. And the reason why, because all the Marshall amps in here, and there's a few to choose from, but the the Plexi in particular was the one that I thought was really, really good. You can use this in all different kinds of rock and rock subgenres. Anything that you can imagine. Pick your favorite rock band or rock song from the 70s and 80s, and chances are their tone was derived from a Marshall Plexi or something very, very similar. This tone is still just as popular and just as relevant today as it was in the late 1960s when when the Plexi first began to really get popular. It's still emulated in the sound itself is still emulated in tons and tons and tons of amps and pedals and all kinds of other stuff here today. The circuit, the old Plexi circuit, is used and modified and hot rodded. It's still over and over and over and over and over again, all to this day. Some of our very favorite modern metal amps, such as the SLO 100, for example, are all based on the Marshall Plexi circuit. So, not that you need to use a Marshall Plexi or a Marshall Plexi style circuit, but just to give you an idea of how important the basis of this tone is and just everything that you can cover with it. Number 4. This one is my favorite rock lead tone. And this one, in my opinion, is the most versatile one on this list. And really, to be honest with you, it's not much different from the rock rhythm tone that you just heard. Really, about the only differences that I dialed in here are, the lead. I added an overdrive / boost in the front end, to boost the gain up a little bit, adjusted the EQ on the amp just a little bit, and then of course added some delay to give it, that big stadium rock type of feel, because delay pedals are always awesome and fun to play with, and they make guitar solos sound really, really cool. But check this out, what you can do with it. Oh, and by the way, this is a tone that you can use for your guitar solos in just about any genre of music out there, and most importantly, it can even get up into modern metal territory. Here's an example of that exact same tone doing just that. And last but not least, number 5, of course, is a metal tone. Gotta have a metal tone, right? If you're a metal guitar player, might not be a bad idea to have a metal tone or two at your disposal. Modern high gain tones, by the way, are used in a lot of in more genres than you might think. And the other thing to consider is a lot of high gain tones aren't actually quite as high gain as you might think that they sound on the studio recordings. I advise you go listen to just about any Megadeth record and just train your ear to listen to just the guitar, how it sounds by itself. I think you'd be surprised at how little gain Megadeth uses. Megadeth. Really, the same is true with with a lot of modern metal tones. Not that high in gain. Now, the example that you're about to see here is pretty high in gain because I want to be able to showcase the chugga chuggas, for the people out here that are interested specifically in that tone. I dialed this tone in using the Diesel VH4 amp model that is included in the MG30 here, which in my opinion of all the modern metal amps that are in here, that one is definitely the best. It sounds really, really good. But check this out. That one's also fun because, again, if you're looking for an alternative lead tone, and rock and, any number of other kind of genres out there, that, the rock lead tone that I showed you earlier isn't quite doing it for you, dial this one in instead. Add effects as necessary. So there it is. There is my take on the top 5 essential guitar tones that every guitar player should have and why they should have them. I hope that you found this video informative and entertaining. And last but not least, again, if you thought that the tones that I was getting out of this unit right here were interesting, this unit, by the way, costs $299, has some excellent amp models in it, and a link to this thing will be down in the description for you to go check it out. Comment down below. Adios.